Lisa wanted to say something. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we're good.
You good?
Yes.
Okay. I would like to call to order the June 20th, 2023 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
So Chad Cleckler,
Here.
Daniel Turner,
Here.
David Wright, Cassie Hollinshead. Here. Tony Harris,
Here.
Amanda Kelly, and Randy Humphrey.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. If you will please stand and join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for this time that we can gather here. Be with us now as we enter into this meeting. Guide us and direct us as we conduct business for the city of White House. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
And please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now for the Texas Pledge. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, that takes us to item D, community interest.
Yes,
Got
sir.
anything?
There's a few things here on the slide. The farmer's market does continue on Saturdays until noon, like nine to noon. As I'm sure everyone has seen, the sidewalk improvements that TxDOT is doing is almost finished now. I drove by today and they were just about to the point where they will stop. It will only go to acre. So they're getting close. The facilities for 109 East Main, that planning is going very well. Council approved a construction manager at risk at their last council meeting, so we'll be moving forward a little bit quicker now, hopefully. And then just a reminder that municipal offices will be closed July 4th.
All right. Has anybody got anything else? Okay. All right, then that will take us to item E, public forum. I don't believe we had anyone sign in as far as the public forum is
Not for
concerned.
public forum. I'm assuming everyone is here for the public hearing on the item that's coming up.
Okay. All right. All right, then that will take us to item F, consideration of minutes. I believe everyone had the minutes in their packet.
I will move to approve the April 18th, 2023 minutes as they are written.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion passes. All right, then that will take us to item G, other action items, public hearings. G1, public hearing, discussion, consideration, and action on a rezoning request for a .98 plus or minus acre tract of land located at 310, 312, and 316 Bascom Rd, M. Guitteriez Survey, A0364 Smith County, Texas, from commercial low density to residential low density. Okay, so can I get some background on this, please?
Sir, Commissioners, before you tonight is a request of the property owners of 310, 312, and 316 Bascom Road to change the zoning of the property to residential low density R-L from commercial low density C-L. These properties were rezoned with the passage of ordinance number 09042802 in 2009, adopting the Vision 2020 Comprehensive Plan. I can only assume the thought at the time was that the area would change from residential use to a low commercial use such as professional offices, restaurants, or light retail. With the zoning change, it was not required that the property use be brought up to the commercial use, so the residential homes became what's known as legal non-conforming and can remain that way until the residential use until such time as the property changes over to commercial. Once that happens, it cannot revert back to residential. These properties have never changed in use and remain residential at this time. Restoration of a legal nonconforming use is not allowed if the destruction of the building is over 50%. This is a sticking point for lenders, and buyers are finding it difficult or impossible to get a residential home mortgage. This has prevented the sale of the property at 310. The owner of 310 initially requested the zoning change for his property alone. In order for property to be rezoned to another zoning, it can't be substantially different from that of the surrounding zonings. The properties surrounding just 310 is only C-L, the commercial zoning. So the owner spoke with the owners of 312 and 316 who were willing to join him in the request. Doing this, the properties now have R-L, the residential zoning, abutting the subject properties. In your packet, I've included the dimensional requirements for both zonings for your review. I have received a couple of inquiries from the notices that were mailed and posted. All were for information regarding the change, but only one gave an opinion for or against, and I've included that tonight. It was an email. I do anticipate that we will have someone here who would like to speak during the public hearing, and I think we do have. Tonight is that first public hearing as required, and depending upon the commission's recommendation, the item will move on to City Council for the second public hearing and their decision next week. Staff is seeking your recommendation. I think if there's an agent for the all of the property owners, Caleb Brown. Okay, and Mr. Brown is here tonight. He can speak during the public hearing if you like.
Okay. All right, so it is now 6:07. I will close our regular meeting and open up the public hearing at this time. Okay, is there anyone who would like to speak? Okay. All right, just come forward, give us your name, your address, and then feel free to.
Thank you, sir. So Brad Hanson, 312 Bascom, and I'm right in the middle of it. And I just want to thank you guys for the job that you do. I appreciate that you guys stepped up and are serving the community. We need it. So all I want to bring to your attention is that both of the homes on each side of us are empty. And the owners of each are striving to bring their homes up to the highest and best use, which under current zoning is rental properties, right in front of the school. I don't think that's ideal for the community. I doubt that the folks at the school are thrilled by that. And then 316 has marijuana-themed graffiti writ large on the side of it, as it's been abandoned for more than 18 months. I shouldn't say abandoned. The owner mows the lawn, but it hasn't been lived in. So the highest and best use for those properties, if we change the zoning, would be owner occupied. And when we leave under current zoning, we'll be ready. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and good day to you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Please.
Good evening, my name is Caleb Brown. I'm the agent speaking on behalf of 310 Bascom Road, Mr. Adam Brown. He would be here, but he already had a trip booked to Scotland and is already on his way there and was unable to get a refund on tickets and other expenses, so please don't use that as any kind of hold against him, because this is a matter of great importance to him. He would be here if he could be. So starting out, I grew up in that home. That was 310 Bascom Road is where I was from around age 4 until now. I've since moved away and don't live around here anymore. But that home has a lot of value and a lot of meaning to me, and to see it go from what is a residential property to a commercial property for business just doesn't seem right, especially knowing that properties around us on that street are also residential. For example, I have here properties 202, 204, 300, and 400, so on and so forth, are still on the residential low marking. So it doesn't stand to make sense that 310 would be zoned as commercial. In addition to that, we've already had multiple offers on our house, and in fact, an entire contract fell through just days before closing due to the fact that we weren't able to get a loan, the potential buyer wasn't able to get a loan on the property. So because of that, we haven't been able to sell the property, and even listing it at commercial for about 3 months now, we've also not had any offers because commercial low is a pretty restrictive listing. I have a form here that shows what can be listed at commercial low, what kind of businesses can operate there, and it's incredibly restrictive. As you can see here, there's dashes in almost every single type of business that could be established there, with the exception of a medical facility with less than 4 beds and a tutoring business for K through 5 only. So if you wanted to tutor high schoolers, you couldn't open your business there. It just doesn't make sense, to me at least, that this property should be zoned that way, and I'm here requesting that it be sent to the net committee next week in order to rezone for residential so that we can move on and sell our home. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay.
Larry, open our 402 Aubrey Street. My property abuts to 360.
Okay.
I had no idea that those 3 lots were commercial. I've lived in that home for 57, on that lot for 57 years. And I know, what is it, 400, I knew it was residential because we had a situation years back where they wanted to put a business in, and I knew that one was residential. But I'm looking at your map, you've got greens and a lot of stuff, and then some don't have any green, or is that an indication of what kind of zoning they are?
Yes, so the yellow is residential low. That pinkish color is commercial low.
I don't understand how come, like I said, I've lived there 57 years, we thought all of it was residential. There's never been a business on any of it. Any of it got zoned for commercial. It doesn't make any sense. Unless somebody asked for all of it to be, when everything was there residential. Like the home at 316, the original owners, that built the house was in it. The one on the corner, 18, all of those were there when we moved there. And it's kind of odd that now I find out all of it's commercial. And yet it's still, everything's got a residence on it except for 1 lot. And that's what, 309 or something like that.
A little further down, yeah.
And I don't wanna be ugly to anybody, but if you're gonna leave them commercial in a residential neighborhood, you need to drive by and look at that particular one, that's what you'll get. So my thing is yes, I'm for this application, but I'm also for all of them pink-colored ones should be residential low density also. That's what they've always been. They've never been commercial. No.
Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Okay, do we have anyone else that would like to speak? Okay, then it is 6:04. Oh, would you like to? Please.
I'm Pat Boatwright, and I own the home at 312 Bascom Rd. that my daughter's living in. It will be her home when it's time. But I really think if we wanted to sell that home, it would be very difficult to sell it, seeing what Adam has had to go through with his home next door. It just doesn't make good sense to me for it to be limited. If it's going to be commercial, let it be commercial, but if it's going to be residential, let it be residential. And I would love to see it go residential because it would be years before anyone would take that up. And we will be long gone by then. So I hope we have favor with you, that you will see that it's a burden for it to be considered commercial. And I hope you will just yield to the fact that we need it residential. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. All right, anyone else? Okay, it is now 6:15. I will close the public hearing and reopen our regular meeting. Okay. So, questions? Any questions?
What was the thought process in 2009 for that to be zoned commercial low? What was, does anybody know what the founding fathers of that were thinking?
Like I said in my introduction, that I think they thought at some point, because that is not a residential street, it's more of a collector or an arterial, that perhaps that would change over to where it could be used for professional offices, retail, something along those lines that fit into the residential, or the commercial low, because restaurants and light retail are allowed in that zoning. But as you can tell, it simply has not happened at this
Right.
point.
Yeah, so here we are from 2023, from 2009 to 2023, and that's not happened at all.
So why do we think that has not gotten any traffic on commercial? The location?
Probably,
right in front of the
and
school,
being that there are actually already houses that are there, somebody would really have to
None
go
of
in.
this one of Bascom has been converted over like.
I mean, just looking at, and I know where these houses are,
Yeah.
obviously we all do, and I'm just thinking, what would you put there? What is, how much room is there to put something really commercially right there in front of the school, right there on Bascom Road?
That entire property is what I had in here is 0.98 acres, that entire
Yeah,
Right,
thing.
yeah, that's,
so less than an acre that's right there. Yeah,
So do
exactly.
those lot sizes meet the minimum lot sizes
I believe so.
for residential low?
I think so, yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And so I know we had representative for 310, we had two speaking at 312 on 316,
And
which is the one that is actually contiguous to that. So they are for this, is that correct?
Yes.
was that the email?
No,
No,
the
the
email
email
was
is
for the
for
others,
someone on the
other side.
other side. Bear with me 1 second.
317.
I did get a
Okay.
call.
I don't know where that is. Oh, across the street. Like right at the Audrey.
That property owner did call me a couple of times, and yes, she is in favor of it. I thought, she told me today she was going to be here.
Okay,
So I didn't write anything down, but she is in favor of it.
She is in favor of it.
wanting to sell the property and is
Okay.
having issues trying to do so.
because that, I think that would be critical as far as contiguous.
It has to be.
It has to be. Because if we don't have that contiguous, then we're into a spot zoning issue.
Correct.
Okay, so as long as you have that from
Yes.
her.
I
Okay,
have spoken with her twice, and she is very much in favor of doing so.
okay. All right. Does anybody else have any questions or anything?
Seemed pretty straightforward.
Okay, all right. Do I have a recommendation or anything at this point?
I'll make a recommendation that we approve the request to rezone 310, 312, and 316 Bascom from commercial low to residential low density.
Second.
Okay, so I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, motion passes. So this recommendation will go to city council, next week.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So the second public hearing will happen next week at 6 o'clock back in this building with the city council.
We need to be here.
It's highly recommended. I can't tell you to, but it's very recommended that for the people here to speak for or against, so. yes, ma'am.
That was pretty quick work, guys.
We appreciate it very much.
Okay, that takes us to item G2, change to August meeting date. I believe we had a PDF on that.
Yes, sir, I had put a staff report in for you all. It's what we do every year so that we can meet the statutory deadlines.
Excuse us, we're
In order for city council to meet the statutory deadlines, to adopt the next fiscal year budget, we need to swap our meeting dates so that they can do that. I believe, I don't have it right in front of me, I think I said August 22nd.
Yeah, August 22nd. Okay, so do I have a motion?
I'll move to change the August meeting to August 22nd at 6 o'clock.
Okay, so I have a motion, I have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we will move our meeting.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, all right, and let's see where it takes us to. Hold on, gotta find the right thing. That takes us to item H, the administrative reports. Refresh.
Ooh, maybe not.
Maybe not.
Okay,
Here we go.
so as you can see, development picked back up slightly between April and May.
Mhm.
So we are seeing a little bit more happening.
Had a few that wanted to have a garage sale.
Quite a few garage sales this time. Jody's been busy with inspections.
Yeah.
You can see that the type of permits that we've had are kind of varied there, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But we did see several new builds come in May, so between April and May.
Okay. Well, that's good. That is good. All right. Has anybody got anything else as far as reports or anything? No? All right, then that will take us to item I. I have a motion to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank y'all. This is Susan's.